Hello, hello, welcome. My name is Matilda. If you've never seen me before, if you have seen me before, lovely to see you again. I feel like today I have a little bit of a random topic, which is how to stay soft in a world that can sometimes harden us. And I was thinking about it. I don't know how I came to this topic in my head, but I was journaling and I was thinking about how the situations that we're in and the world around us impacts us so much and really shapes the people that we become. And I'm the type of person that's very sensitive. I'm very sensitive, very emotional, but I find that sometimes the world is evil and it's easy for that evil to rub onto us, and it's easy for us to have a heart that hardens. And sometimes I notice it because it feels like softness is a weakness, and it feels like when I am being nice and understanding and accepting, people see that as me being naive. And for a really long time in my life, especially in my career, I thought that I had to be like this cold boss girl. What is it called? A girl boss. Because otherwise, I wasn't going to sort of succeed in my roles, and I wasn't going to do well at work. But yeah, I had a really hard time navigating that softness, and being the way that I am is just in my nature. And so I was trying to change that, but it was making me feel uncomfortable, or not making me feel like I was being authentic, and it made me feel like I was putting on this mask. And so I had to step back and be like, okay, I just have to be who I am, and if things don't work out because of it, it is what it is. But I just can't put on this persona that I am strong. And not that I'm not strong, I am strong, but like that I'm cold and that I don't care about people, which I suppose is what this video is about. Not letting people decide who you become, and not letting your heart be hardened by the world around you, staying soft even when there's evil around you, and even when the world pushes you to be cold and be hardened. I've been in situations where the people around me have hurt me, they've made mistakes, the same exact way that I'm sure I've hurt the people around me, and I've made mistakes because we're all humans. And what I realized is the times that I was trying to be stubborn and I was like, no, I can't be a pushover. This cannot happen. I have to stand my ground. And I wasn't forgiving that person, or I was like trying to act in a way that wasn't really resonating with my usual or inherent response. I was finding that that thing that happened to me was affecting me much more, compared to the times where I just do what feels right and I forgive the person. I understand that they're human, and I come to terms with the fact that people can hurt you without getting to change your heart, without getting to harden your heart, without changing who you are. Don't give people or the world permission to change your heart and who you are. Even if they have wronged you, don't let them make you become a person who is holding on to hate, who's holding on to resentment, who's not, forgiving and letting go. Because I find that that's what really affected me in the past, like holding on to these emotions because I thought that was the right thing to do, was hardening my heart so much, and it was changing me as a person for the worst. And then I felt so out of sync with who I was, and it was hard. It was hard. Whereas when I went back to being soft, being accepting, being, you know, seeing people from a place of love, even when they do make mistakes, which doesn't mean that I have to surround myself with those people anymore. But I don't hold on to resentment, I don't hold on to hate, and I don't let them change who I am. If they can be who they want to be, and they can act how they want to act, that will have no impact on me, and it will not change who I am at my core. I found that setting boundaries with people really helped me, because even if I have that boundary with that person and that person does not have to be in my life, I don't have to interact with that person, but at least it doesn't change the way that I am inherently looking at the situation from eyes of compassion, even though that sometimes makes people think that you're naive, and even though people think like, oh, she's nice, she'll understand. It's a very tricky balance, but having boundaries of the behavior that I will accept and the behavior that I will not accept, and where that line is, and also being able to say, I wish you all the best in life, I do, but I don't want you in my life. Essentially, I don't want to be surrounded by people that behave like that, but at the same time, I wish you all the best. A few ways in which I stay soft are, first of all, having empathy and just knowing that we're all humans, and I am sure that I've hurt people without even realizing before, just as people have done to me. So just seeing it from that aspect of we all make mistakes, and not assuming ill intent as well, just having empathy in knowing that it's our first time living life and that we are so shaped by the things that we experience and the people that we surround ourselves with. I always think about the fact that if I was born in a different family, in a different country, with a different culture, and I had lived through different experiences, I would be a completely different person. And seeing it from that point of view has helped me to have empathy for everyone, because I'm like, okay, if I was this person that's in front of me, even if this person has just hurt me, if I was in their shoes and I had lived their exact same life, I would probably be that exact same person. You know what I mean? I always think about my childhood, my teenagehood, my young adulthood, and I always think about the fact that every experience has shaped me so much, and it has molded me into the person that I am today. I feel like the person that you're looking at right now is a mold of like all little experiences that I've ever had. And I feel like that's the same for everyone else as well. So when I look at it from that perspective, it's pretty hard not to have empathy for others. I don't hold grudges. I let things go. I don't let things impact me long term. Again, if someone wants to act a certain way, if something happens in my life, I don't let it affect me in the long term. You know, I deal with my emotions at the time, but I let it go. I forgive. And I don't forget, but at the same time, I'm not impacted enough to remember. Like, I remember the fact of the thing that happened, but I'm not emotionally invested in it, if that makes sense. I don't care about other people's opinion about me, which is tricky at times because I feel like that's what humans do instinctively, but I really try to be myself and do what I love and be who I am without worrying about whether that's accepted from people. And I surround myself with amazing people that love me just for the person that I am. I'm mindful of the content that I consume. I feel like there was a period of time where I was watching, I don't know how to put that genre. It's like channels that report news about random things that happen online, and it's usually quite, it's not like aggressive, but it's very like riled up whilst they like tell what's going on. I don't know if I'm making sense, but yeah, I used to watch content that would rile me up, like, in a way, and I could feel that my body was like a bit out of whack after I would consume that content, and my thoughts would be more scattered or more negative. So I try to be really mindful of the content that I consume. Mostly I am bricked, so I don't have access to social media for most of the week, most of the day, and the only social media that I have access to is YouTube. And on YouTube I just watch videos from my subscriber page, which are just a lot of lovely, lovely girls that do vlogs and lifestyle content, which I thoroughly enjoy. And that has really helped me to make sure that my thoughts are always positive and always very peaceful. I always try to see the good intentions behind someone's actions. Kind of like how we were talking about before, not assuming malicious intent when something happens or when someone does or says something. And I found this to be really beneficial to keep a soft heart because, again, I'm sure I've said things before that have hurt the people around me, and I did not mean it in a way that would be hurtful. And so I try to have that perspective when something hurts me, compared to like, oh, this person said this to me, they must have wanted to hurt me, like assuming malicious intent. Because if I assume malicious intent, then I'm instinctively like in like fighter mode or retracting on my own and being like, I don't want to speak to that person anymore. Whereas if I think about them having had good intentions with their behavior or their words and not meaning to hurt me, that allows me to stay soft. And kind of linked to that, but I don't respond emotionally to mean behavior. It's sort of like I am able to detach from when someone is being mean. If someone is or says mean things about myself or other people, I'm able to view that person from the eyes of like, okay, they must be going through something to be able to say this out loud. Like to not only think this, but say it and share this awful thought that they've had. That's been helpful to detach and then not react emotionally and not heighten the situation that is probably already heightened. This could be for silly things as well. Like I work in customer service additional to my full-time job, and sometimes there's customers that come in and they are just incredibly mean, or they say very, very mean things. And it's about not reacting emotionally, not reacting or getting affected from what they are saying to me, because they probably don't mean it. Again, not assuming malicious intent, but they also might just be going through something that I don't know about. And I've been there where I just am a bit more snappy, or, I say things, yeah, more snappy because I'm going through something, because I'm feeling other emotions, because I've just experienced something that wasn't great. And lastly, I spend lots of time alone to recharge, to check in with myself, to see how I'm feeling, how I'm going, and to remind myself who I am and who I want to be and who I don't want to be. I feel like time alone is so important. I definitely want to make a whole video about solitude because I love solitude. I love being around other people. I love spending time with loved ones. But there is something that only solitude can give you when you're able to listen to yourself and spend time with yourself and truly ask yourself and realize who you are when no one's watching, who you are when no one is impacting you, when you're not trying to please the people around you, when you are just by yourself and you can just be you. Who are you? Yeah, I find spending time alone so great for resetting because it allows me to slow down and to reflect on either a stressful week or an unpleasant encounter and notice how I'm feeling, notice what's going on, and then recharge and move on from there. But yes, I think in the past I thought that if I was able to be colder and have a stronger, harder heart and put up these walls, that people wouldn't be able to affect me emotionally as much and that I could be unaffected and untouched by whatever anyone said. But that was honestly hurting me more than anything I could have done because it was pushing up like against my nature. And so it was like a constant fight within me. And again, don't let anyone change who you are. Don't let anyone change your heart. And even if someone's being mean, even if someone is hurting you, they can do that. They can choose to do that. They can choose to act however they want to act. But don't let them change who you are. And don't let them change your heart. Don't let them make you become someone else. So yes, stay kind, stay soft, stay you, and don't let anyone change who you are at heart. I love you very much, and I look forward to chatting again soon. Bye.